Hello everyone, myself Ruchi Patel, working as an assistant professor at LJ College of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to take a new topic, that is limb length measurement and girth measurement. Limb length measurement, it is also called as LLD, that is limb length discrepancy, and it is called as the difference between the length of the arm or legs. For normal individual, we can observe the mild difference in the limb length. And if this difference in the limb length is less than 1 inches, then it is considered as a normal. Whereas if it is more than 1.5 inches, then it is considered as a abnormal. And that requires a corrective treatment. Of course, before giving any corrective treatment, there should be a compulsion to check for the reason for the limb length discrepancy. What are the causes which causes the limb length discrepancy? The main cause for the limb length discrepancy is the congenital deficiency of the limb. That is congenital shortening of the femur, congenital shortening of the tibia, as well as there are other causes like scoliosis, that is the lateral curvature of the spine, then bony abnormalities like coxa vara, that is decrease in the angle of head and the shaft of the femur, whereas coxa valga, that is increased in the angle, whereas the knee deformities, that is genu valgum, that is knock knee, and genu varum, that is the bow leg deformities. Other than this, poliomyelitis, that is the viral infection of the lower extreme, viral infection which causes the paralysis in the lower extremity. And other than this, that is the pelvic tilt or pelvic drop, then soft tissue shortening or the contractures, which these all the conditions can cause the limb length discrepancies. Now, how to measure this limb length discrepancy? There are mainly two methods by which we can check. First is the true shortening measurement, and the another is the functional limb length measurement. So, or we can say that is the apparent limb length measurement. So first we'll see the shortening measurement, true shortening measurement. So before taking any measurement, the examiner must be set the pelvis of the both the side in a proper position. The examiner should check for the lower extremity position, and the legs are not placed in a proper relation to the pelvis, then there could be a chances for the apparent shortening of the limb length. So if the one lower extremity is in the abducted position, then it brings the medial malleolus closer to the ASIS on the same side. And if the extremity is kept in the excessive adduction position, then it takes the medial malleolus further from the ASIS of the same side. So to avoid this discrepancy, we keep both the extremity in the same manner. If the person is having abductor or adductus tightness or the contracture on the one side, then the other extremity also should be placed in the same position. Like if one extremity is in the abducted position, then the other extremity also should be in the abducted position. So first we'll see true shortening measurements in the detail. So patient position, supine line, and the legs are kept parallel to each other, that is the 15 to 20 centimeters apart. Then the measurement should be taken from the ASIS to the medial or the lateral malleolus, and it should be measured with the inch tape. Now, if the examiner finds any difference in the measurement of ASIS to the medial malleolus compared to the other side, then he will proceed for the segmental limb length measurement. So segmental limb length measurement, it should be taken at a three place, that is from the ASIS to the greater trochanter to check for the hip deformities, that is the coxa vara. Then from the greater trochanter to the lateral knee joint line for the femoral shortening, and from the medial joint line to the medial malleolus for the tibial shortening. Okay, I'll repeat again in the table form. So here we can see the measurement should be taken from ASIS to the medial or the lateral malleolus, and then if any changes or any discrepancy examiner finds, then he'll take the segmental limb length, that is from the ASIS to the GT, that is greater trochanter, then greater trochanter to the lateral knee joint line for the femur shortening, and from the medial joint line of the knee to the medial malleolus to check for the tibial shortening. And in this way, right and left, both the side will take measurement and will record the measurements. Then next is the apparent shortening measurement. Even though the true shortening measurement shows nil differences in the limb length, but the examiner may feel the height differences on observation. That time, the apparent shortening has to be taken. So, by this method, we can know the leg length difference due to the spinal level or the pelvic problem. So if the person is having any issue in the spinal level or at the pelvic, whether any pelvic drop, pelvic tilt excessive, or any spinal deformities, then there will be the apparent shortening of the limb will be seen. So the measurement is taken from the umbilicus or the xiphoid process of the sternum to the medial malleolus. Okay, so we'll see the images. Here the measurement is taken from the ASIS to the medial malleolus, and the same measurement, that is ASIS to the lateral measurement, has been taken. Here it is taken for the true limb length measurement, whereas from the umbilicus to the medial malleolus, that is taken for the apparent limb length measurement. For the apparent limb length measurement, we'll write the measurement in this way, that is umbilicus or the xiphoid process of the sternum to the medial malleolus, and same way we'll take on the both the side, right and left. So now we'll proceed for the girth measurement. The state of nutrition is examined by inspection and by the palpation of various muscles, and comparing this on the other side, correct? So in muscle atrophy, the muscle mass decreases. So atrophy means there is decrease in the muscle mass. Okay, the muscles give a soft or flabby feeling. Whenever we touch the muscle on the affected side, maybe we feel that the muscle is flabby and it is very soft compared to the other side. So atrophy can be general following to the illness. So if the person is ill since long time, or the patient is in the bed from the prolonged period of time and he has not done any movement, or he is immobilized for the prolonged period of time, then there are the more chances for the atrophy of that particular extremity. And physical exercises increases the bulk of the muscles. Once the person start with the exercises, or once the person will start to move that extremity, gradually the bulk muscle atrophy will get reduced and muscle bulk will get increased. So measurement of the muscle bulk, the muscular weakness or the atrophy leads to the reduction in the muscle bulk. And in general, lower limb muscle bulk measurement are done for the quadriceps and for the calf muscles, because as we all know, this both the muscles are bulky. So for the quadriceps muscle bulk measurement, from the base of the patella, 3 points are marked in the bulk area with the difference of 2 to 3 inches. So with the help of inch tape, we'll take the measurement, and the circumferences is measured from all the 3 marked area by the inch tape, and the differences are compared on the another side. So here you can say you can see the measurement has been taken at the 3 points, and the reference point is on the base of the patella, and accordingly the circumferences should be measured, and it should be compared with the opposite side. Okay, here it is given. So same way, calf muscle bulk, from the apex of the patella, 3 points are marked in the bulky area, and with the difference of 1 to 2 inches, and the same way circumferences should be measured and it should be compared with the other side. In the same way, brachioradialis and biceps muscles should be measured for the muscle bulk. Okay, and for the biceps and for the brachioradialis, bony landmark will be olecranon process of the elbow. So the recording of the muscle bulk will or girth measurement will do in a following way. So here we'll write the muscle, that is we are doing for the quadriceps muscle. The area we'll write, so 2 inches above to the base of the patella, then 4 inches above to the base of the patella, and 6 inches above the base of the patella. We'll compare the reading on the both the side and we'll record it. Okay, so in this way we'll take for the calf muscle, as well as if we find any atrophy in the upper extremity, then for the biceps and for the brachioradialis, we'll record in a same manner. So references, textbook of therapeutic exercises by Lakshmi Narayan, as well as orthopedic physical assessment by David Magee. So you all can refer this both the books. It is nicely given in both the books. Okay, thank you.